Hi, I'm Pat Prescott, having a blast on the Capital Jazz SuperCruise 2015, and I'm here with my good friend, Miss Candy Dulfer, the pride and joy of Amsterdam Harlem. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so happy to see you and to be here. It's amazing.
It's great to see you too. Let's talk a little bit about your background. I think family is so important to you, I know, because of your dad. You kind of carry on that. You're the second generation, really, of that saxophone legend. And then your mom, such an important part of your career, too, helping to shape and mold that. And I guess that makes it kind of nice to have family close to you like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have no clue what I would have done if it weren't for my dad and my mom being so supportive of me in the musical direction. And I always think it's very special that, I mean, my father is a real, you know, he's a jazz player, he's a macho guy. If you see him, you'll see what I mean. And that he never ever gave me the idea that it would not be a good idea as a girl, you know, to be a musician or a jazz musician. He was always so encouraging without being pushy. You know, I could always go to him for whatever, but he never told me what to do. And he's such a strong personality. So now I'm older. I'm really in awe of that, you know, to guide somebody without pushing them in a direction you absolutely know that's good for them. And then there's, on the other side, there's my mom, who's been my manager from the beginning till now. She's 75. She looks not a day over,
She's
I don't know,
amazing.
50. Sometimes, a lot of times people think we're sisters.
All the time.
Yeah. And she's just there for me. She never was a stage mom or anything. It just turned out, I got gigs when I was 13 years old. People were calling me like, can you come? Do you have a band? We can book you. And I said, yeah, sure. And then I had no driver's license, you know, it was not a legal age anyway to do anything with contracts. So she just stepped in. She was an amazing housewife, very active, you know, in the community, always doing stuff. And then she just stepped in to help me. And we never looked back, but it's in such a nice way, you know. It's not like I see a lot of families where the parents just jump on the child and you know, start managing them.
Yeah, she's not the stage mom type.
No, my father's not like that. My mom's not like that. They're always concerned in my best interest. Even now, I'm 46, and I have such a strong team behind me. I'm so blessed. So, and we have a lot of fun. We're just 3 people in my, you know, in our little family. We have a small family, but it was just us. I was the only child, and I think I'm just spoiled rotten with attention and help. And on the other side, they let me go my own way, and they've always trusted my instinct in what I do in my career, and it's just amazing. So I'm very happy, and I'm just like, now I get older, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot deal with ever these 2 not being there, you know.
Yeah.
So I hope they all become 105 and just keep on, you know, being there. Yeah.
One of the cool things about your mom too is, well, she's got the business acumen, which I'm sure has developed as time has gone by. But she's also very calm. I think it's a good thing to have someone who's calm around you. And she's a great firefighter. She's putting out fires all along the way, so you don't have to worry about all that.
Totally, and it's so funny because if there was ever any, you know, time that I would develop diva behavior, like you sometimes can do. If you're an artist and people around you and you have success, people go like, oh, whatever, you want a towel, you want to, and I still, sometimes I'm like, Mom, I'm on the stage, I didn't have a drink in 2 hours. And then she'll be like,
she'll check you right away.
Water's over there, towels you can get over there. And I used to be, you know, like, sometimes I would be like, Mom, everybody has a manager that just runs after them and does everything for them. And you don't want to even write my set list, you know, like
not when it's your mom.
And now I'm so grateful because I see all these people, you know, going totally nuts with whatever little or big success they have. I'm just very happy I had somebody who would always put me in place. And it just made me, I hope, pretty normal.
What was it like growing up around your dad as a successful musician? I know you got a chance to see and to meet a lot of people.
Well, I find it really interesting, now I'm older, I don't have children of my own sadly, but I always interesting, how do you motivate kids? How do you show them that working hard, you know, going for your passion, but really putting a lot of energy in it is really important? And how do you do that? Do you tell them every day to like, you gotta work hard? And when I think back in hindsight, they never told me anything like that. They were just doing it. I saw my father, he didn't want to be dependent on music. He wanted to always develop his own style. So aside from being a professional musician working almost every day, he also had a day job to provide for our family and to make sure he could always play the jazz that he wanted to play and not, you know, making it commercial. So I was just used to, you know, he would come home 3, 4 o'clock at night, check on me, give me a kiss, go to sleep, get up at 7, bring me to school first, and then drive to the office, would come home at 5, 6, you know, eat with us, and then rush to the next gig. But it was always done with so much. He was so happy doing that, that was for me like normal. I was always like, oh, doesn't every dad have 2 jobs? Doesn't every mom, you know, do the house but also have, you know, take care of the neighbors, take in stray dogs? I would come home after school and our whole house would be refurnished. All the furniture would be in a different place. And it's like, and I said, Mom, when did you do that? Oh, just now, you know. I was just used to seeing that, and that made me a workaholic as well in a good way. Because I just saw it, so I always figured this is how you do it. The most difficult time was in my 20s, when I think as a person you need more sleep and everything. It's just your, I don't know, your way of development. And I just couldn't keep up with my parents. I was like, what am I? Some kind of, you know, sucker? I can do what they do. Will I ever live up to these two? And then I got older, and I think when you get older, you need less sleep, and you start focusing more. You know exactly what you want. And I'm like them, and the people in my band, even the very younger guys, I have a younger drummer and a singer, they just look at me all day like, don't you ever go to sleep? And I'm like, no. And we're going to do this.
And neither will you.
Yeah. But the most important thing was that they taught me like hard work is important, and you should do, you know, work as hard as you can to have the work that you really want to do, because that way you can do it for a long time. But also, you know, work hard, play hard. We're not going to go, if we have a great gig, and we're in Moscow or any place, we're not going to go, you know, oh, I'm tired, I'm going to the hotel to sleep. No way. This could be the last time you're in Moscow. You know, let's go out, party, see the city, do things. And I'm so glad I'm still, my energy is still there, you know, to do all that kind of stuff, because that way you live double. You see everything, you do everything, but also you are able to contribute to other people, because if you radiate some sort of content or happiness, I think people in the audience pick up on that and they get an energy from it.
And I can't let you go without saying something about Prince, about working with Prince. I mean, so many,
well,
it's legend now, but how'd you get that gig?
Well, that's kind of a funny story. I first have to say that Prince was for me, when I saw him, the workaholic that he is, it all fell into place. I'm like, oh wow, you're just like my father. But then even more crazy, you don't sleep at all. And that was so great to see. It was such a great example at it, because I started working with him when I was 18 or 17 years old. So it was just like a natural thing, like, oh, okay, so big stars do it the same way. But what I liked about him is that he is really, I won't call him a diva, but he is a star. You know, he's this magnetic, mysterious guy. But the way I met him is really funny. I was 17 years old, and in Holland we are taught that whatever we don't like, we just say, you know, oh, I don't like this, I'm not going to do this. We don't accept a lot of authority. In a way, we're very blessed, because our authority in the Netherlands is not so heavy and, you know, strict with us. So
I should move.
You know, yeah, it's a long story, but you will know what I mean. So we're blessed with that. But we are taught to have our own opinion and be strong, have strong opinions, even as women. And so the first time I met Prince, I was scheduled to perform as a support act in the Netherlands only, just 2 gigs. And I think he never heard of me, but the people in Holland who organized this concert, they just put me there to give me a chance, and it was amazing. Me and my little band, we didn't have any records out. We were just asked to be his support act. So, of course, we practiced for like 6 weeks, and, you know, this was my big break. I thought he might come out and see us, you know. So, and then one day, or actually the day we were there, like 3 hours before the gig was happening, somebody just came up to us and said, who are you? Oh, Candy Dulfer, you're the support act? Oh yeah, that's not going to happen today. He doesn't feel like it. And I was like, what? I was 17 years old, and I got so mad, because I felt that's so mean. You know, this is the chance of our lifetime, and we'd be rehearsing and all, you know, living towards this moment. So I thought it was his fault. So I saw his manager, Fargnoli, God rest his soul, he's a sweet guy, but he was like the real quintessential manager, big cigar, walking like this. And I said, I'm Candy Dulfer, I'm from the Netherlands, and you missed your chance to see me play, and Prince should be sorry because I blah, 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 whatever. And I gave him a note, a little autograph card that I have my picture on it. And I wrote, Dear Prince, you missed the chance to see a girl blow her ass off on the saxophone. Too bad. And I said, you just give it to him. And then I saw Sheila E., who is my hero also, and I went up to her and she says my head was spinning like this. I said, hey, you just tell him that this is not the way to treat people. I was raised by a jazz musician, and my father knows Dexter Gordon Bamber. So I was like,
you went off.
I went off, and you know, normally this behavior would not grant me anything. But then, really funny, a day later, I was still so angry. I even talked to the press and I said, he's not nice, he's a big star, he doesn't treat the normal people good. And then, but my friends somehow convinced me to go to the gig as a fan. They saw me sulk and they said, well, you just put on your dark sunglasses and you go out there because Prince is your, you know, your idol, you have to see him, otherwise you miss something. So I just went there angry. And then we were there early because, you know, he's such a big star. And then suddenly through the speakers they said, Candy Dulfer to backstage, please. And I was like, I thought my parents had an accident, so I ran over there and they said, oh, it's you again. You know what? He wants you to play today. Just get out your saxophone. You can play with him on the gig. And I said, I don't have my saxophone. This is Rotterdam. This is 2 hours or 1.5 hour drive from Amsterdam, where I live. I don't have it. So they sent out for a music store in Rotterdam. They gave me the worst.
They got you a saxophone.
But the worst one ever. I was playing it and it sounded like, woo! And I called my parents and they jumped in the car. They got almost arrested around the corner of their house already because my father was, you know, driving way too fast. And then the police said, where are you going? He said, my daughter is playing with Prince and she needs her saxophone. And he said, okay. And they gave us a
police escort.
Escort to Rotterdam. And just 2 seconds before I had to go in with Prince with that ugly saxophone, my father came in and threw the sax at me. I played one song with Prince, Now's the Time, Charlie Parker's song, with everybody there, Sheila E., Eric Leeds, everybody, and he loved it, and from that day on,
and the rest is history.
But it's funny.
She told Prince off.
And he still teases me to this day, and he was like, you were like a little, I was afraid of you, I thought, better get this girl on stage, otherwise she's going to kill me.
Anything you want to say to your fans in closing?
Oh yeah, I'm so glad to be here, and I always say this, but I'm so glad to be embraced by the United States and the people who really know their music, because you have to know that in Holland, where I'm from, we have almost no musical background. All the music that I've ever listened to is African-American music. It's jazz, it's all that stuff. And then to be coming here, especially on a place like this, like Capitol Jazz Chorus, and be embraced by the audience, that always, you know, makes my heart beat. It's amazing. So I just want to say thank you. And I hope some of you told me that they didn't know of me beforehand. So this has been a great opportunity to show you guys what I do. And I hope to see you all in the United States next year and this year when I'm coming up with Dave Koss' Christmas tour, which I'm going to do with Jonathan Butler and Bill Medley and Dave Koss. So hopefully see you all soon.
We love you, Candy.
Thank you. I love you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.